Hey everyone, welcome back to Rail Trails Open Book Training. And this week we're going to talk about the annual plan. Now, this is going to be a shorter session than the previous ones. You're probably very happy about that. But that's not because it's not important. This is actually one of the most important things you're going to learn in this whole process about the annual plan and how we use it here at Rail Trail. So I want you to first imagine that you're playing a game. Could be a sport, could be a board game, any kind of game. Could be soccer, football in some parts of the world. Could be tennis, could be baseball. No one really likes baseball anymore, but could be basketball, could be football, American football. Could be any game, you pick it, whatever it is. So imagine yourself playing that game. You're a superstar, you're amazing. But what if no one ever told you how the scoring worked in that game? So you don't know what happens when the ball goes in a basketball game, or when you cross the goal line in a football game, or when the ball goes over the net inside some lines in the game of tennis. If no one ever teaches you how to keep score, what do you think might happen? That might make playing that sport very, very differently. You might be like, what? Huh? I don't even know what's going on right now. And you probably wouldn't, because you don't know, like, if you're playing basketball, it goes in, is that good? Is that not good? It seems like it should be good. Some things that you wouldn't know, right? So you wouldn't know whether your result was good or bad. I've got 10 baskets in this game, in my game of basketball. Is that good? What if the average is 100? I don't know. I don't know, because no one's keeping score. I don't know if I'm winning or I'm losing. You know, I guess they've got more in than me. But I don't know if that's good or not, because no one told me how to score the game. What should I do? You know, what should I do? If I've scored more than them, I guess, maybe, I don't know. Like, should I try and like score more or get more in, or what? Do I need to catch up? Am I behind? Am I ahead? I don't know what strategies to put into place. It'd be a very difficult thing, basically, is the long-winded point here. It'd be very difficult to know what to do in a game if you weren't keeping score. So here's the truth, and this may be surprising, maybe it's not, but the truth is that most restaurants operate this way, okay, when it comes to running their business. They might be really good at food. They might be really good at hospitality and service. But the numbers, the finance, those numbers that you learned about, profit and loss statements, revenue, cost of goods, overheads, direct labor, net operating profit, those numbers are how we keep score in the restaurant industry. Was revenue above where we wanted it to be? Were we profitable? Do we make money? Do we lose money? I mean, it makes sense if you take it that way, but believe it or not, very, very few restaurants operate this way. And the ones that do use the numbers almost only use them at the ownership or senior management level. Most likely, you're not coming in at that level in this business, so this is already going to be a different experience for you here at Rail Trail. And not just do they not look at the numbers, they don't have a plan for what they want to do this year. Okay, so, you know, let's say my pizza stand made $100,000 in revenue last year and $10,000 in profit. If you remember, that's roughly the basic health for a restaurant, 10% that we want. So, okay, so I had a pretty good year, made 10 grand in profit, walked away, great. Most restaurants don't then say, okay, well, next year I want to do 120,000 in revenue and 20,000 in profit. Very, very few restaurants do that. They just keep opening the doors in the morning or in the afternoon, closing them up at night, and hoping for the best as they go forward. Doesn't mean they're not well-run businesses. It just means they're running at a disadvantage because they don't know how to keep score, and they're not coming up with a plan or a strategy to try and improve on their score. Most importantly for us, the team doesn't know. You don't know what the big picture goals are for the business. Are we trying to grow revenue this year? Is it more important to control costs? What are our goals in terms of trying to create a better result for our business for now and for the future as well? But here at Rail Trail, things are different. And you, just by sitting in that seat and being as far into your onboarding and training here as you are pretty lucky, to be honest with you, because you're going to learn so much about business and the way that we want to operate a business to really make sure it performs well by using an annual plan. And here's the most important point. You're getting used to these by now. Here's the most important point of the annual plan. The annual plan is how we set our financial goals each year and what we're going to do to reach them. Okay. Basically, we're going to say, here's our financial target, and here's how we're going to get there. Okay. So again, the annual plan is how we set our financial goals each year and what we will do to reach them. And oh, by the way, there's this other part that's really important for you as it relates to the annual plan. That's also where we establish our profit sharing plan for the year. So I'm sure by now you know that participating at Rail Trail, being a member of our team here, means that you get an opportunity to share in the profits of the business. How cool is that? Very cool. So this is the annual plan, is where we're going to work on that, where we're going to share that out with the team. And it's how you're going to earn that incentive compensation by helping our business achieve its goals. Part of your job here at Rail Trail is to know what the plan is and do what you can in whatever job you're in to help us reach those goals. And when we reach those goals, everybody on the team is going to share in the profits. And it really is a very unique thing for restaurants, okay? Or really any business. Profit sharing is a great thing. We wish more businesses did it, but they don't right now. And specifically restaurants. There's a growing number of businesses like us in the Boston community that we participate in through Rethink Restaurants that's doing profit sharing and open book strategy, but it's very, very rare. There's probably easily less than 100 restaurants in the entire country as of 2018 that are doing profit sharing. And you're now part of one of those, and we're excited that you're a part of our team and that you're going to be on this journey with us. And then this is going to be you. Stacks and 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 stacks. All right. So you don't need to get too into detail here, but I'm just going to share a little bit with you about how the plan actually gets built. Most likely, you're not going to participate in the creation of a lot of the numbers for this business unless you're coming in as a manager. But you know what? We would love nothing more than for you to one day be a part of the team that helps to create this plan. But until that day comes, what I want to do right now is just tell you the steps that we take to create this planning process using the open book strategy. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to develop a forecast. Okay, that's right, got it right there. And the forecast, like a weather forecast, is just basically a prediction. Okay, and it's going to answer the question, hey, if we didn't do anything other than what we're doing right now, right this minute, what would the numbers be next year? So here's what revenue was last year. If we just do what we're doing right now, what do we think the numbers are going to be? Now, there's things that go into this that we're not going to talk about in this session, but you can ask your mentor about it in terms of is the trend up or is the trend down? Are we seeing more revenue on a regular basis the last couple of years, or is revenue going down? And then there's the stuff outside, like what's happening in the economy. All these different factors that the leadership team and a group of teams called squads in our business work to develop a forecast for this coming year. Okay, answering the question, if we just did what we were doing now, what would we be looking at for next year? Then we take the next step and say, okay, well, we're not going to do nothing. We're going to do something. Okay, so we're going to create a plan for next year that seeks to improve on what the forecast says. So if the forecast says 100, we're going to talk about it and say, hey, let's see if we can get to 110. And then we're going to come up with some projects and initiatives to make that happen, okay? Because you got to know how you're going to get there. It's not enough to just say we're going to get there. You got to know how. Now, the way that we do that at Rail Trail is we have squads, okay? And there's a revenue squad, and they work on finding ways to increase revenue, to grow revenue for the business. There's a cost of goods sold squad, COGS squad, and that squad works to see what we can do to optimize the cost of our ingredients and our menu offerings, and basically a lot of kitchen-related stuff, but it could be a lot of different things. And then there's a direct labor squad, and they work to make sure that we are properly staffed and controlling our labor expense through a variety of different projects. And remember, also keeping down turnover, which is a big contributor to our labor expense. And then finally, this is where you'll come in. We're going to monitor and drive the numbers. So instead of waiting the entire year and looking at the plan and saying, did we get there, did we not? That's not how you do it in a game or in a sport. You're looking at the scoreboard the whole time. You know what the score is. So we are to monitor and drive the numbers. And the way we do that is we review profit and loss statements, we review the P&Ls and our metrics to regularly monitor the performance so that we can either meet or beat the plan. The way that we do that at Rail Trail is through periodic class. You're going to be in a classroom with everybody on the team once every 4 weeks. We're going to look at the periodic financial results, the P&L for the last period, and then we're going to look at where we are related to the plan for the year. You're going to know at any point in the year, are we on plan, are we not, and what are we doing to try and achieve our plan, okay? Pretty complex system, very, very different from a typical restaurant job, but very exciting, and you'll learn a lot, and we're really excited to bring you through that process with us. So our goal from the leadership perspective here is that we want everyone on the team to know the plan, how you're going to be able in your job to contribute to it, and what we as a team are doing to meet or beat the plan. Okay, so it doesn't matter if you're a host, you're a dishwasher, you're a server, you're a manager, you're the general manager of the restaurant. We want to make sure you know the plan, how your job affects the plan, and what the team is doing to meet or beat that plan this year. So a little bit more about our planning process. Once we have that forecast developed, we're going to look at where we should be spending our time to drive the numbers through some projects. Okay, so there's always something to do in a restaurant, and a big thing that we need to do is prioritize. So what's most important right now? And that's part of the job of the squads, is to look at a bunch of different project ideas. And oh, by the way, we want your project ideas. If you see something in the restaurant that you think could be running better and would impact the numbers or impact the way that things work at Rail Trail, we want to know. So tell your supervisor, tell people on the team, bring it up in class. Your ideas are welcome here, okay? So anyhow, looking at some examples here, we might say revenue needs to be higher. What can we do to increase it? And come up with some ideas. Maybe we do a loyalty program. We increase takeout. We start catering. Those are actually all three things that we've looked at through this process at Rail Trail. And by the time you're hearing that, this message rather, you're probably going to see that those programs are already well underway. What would it take to reduce our cost of goods percentage by 0.5%? The forecast says overheads are running above our standard of 30% at 31%. What could we do project-wise to lower our overhead expenses? Could we improve the way that we work with linens? Could we lower our electricity? You know, a lot of different things. These are the kind of questions that we're asking, but we're asking them in advance. This is happening this year, thinking about next year. Another very big, cool difference here at Rail Trail versus other businesses. But at Rail Trail, remember, the most important thing is that the annual plan is how we set our financial goals each year and what we'll do to reach them. So now at this point, you're starting to see that what we will do to reach them, this sentence right down here, is all about projects. Okay, what projects are we taking on to achieve our goals in the annual plan? So this is really where all of the open book power comes in, okay? So in order to understand any of this, you have to understand the numbers. You have to understand what they mean. You have to understand all the stuff you've learned so far. And when we have a team that understands and participates at some level of that plan, everybody on the team is bought into the numbers, meaning that we all understand how they were come up with. It's not just someone throwing a number at you and saying this is how you're going to do it. You understand it. You know what we need to do to achieve some of those, what our potential challenges might be. We have some specific projects or initiatives that we're looking at doing this year, and they're going to have measurable results, and everybody on the team is going to be aware of those results that we're looking for. And the most important thing really is that now everybody on the team, doesn't matter what your job is, everybody on the team knows what the most important goal is, okay, and knows where we're shooting. Again, this is where the strategy comes in. Now that we know the score of the game or the sport that we're playing, now we can have some strategies in place to try and help us get there. So here's how you're going to learn about the plan. You're going to go to periodic class, as we said, every 4 weeks at the end of the accounting period. You're going to see the financial results, and those results are going to be communicated to everybody. You're going to see a ton of different signage in the classroom building next to the restaurant. Please, we encourage you to want to learn more about that. Ask questions in class, out of class, anywhere you want. Departmental meetings, it's another place you can learn about the plan or specific projects that are going on, or any meetings that are happening that you're participating in the restaurant. And then really talk about it with your coworkers. Talk to people on the team. Ask your manager how things are going. What did we do for revenue last week? Does that put us on track? Whatever. We'd love for you to be actively engaged in all this. Okay. And again, this is a different type of job than most restaurants, but we think you're going to find it to be a really exciting and stimulating job that you're going to learn a lot in. And remember, at Rail Trail, the annual plan is how we set our financial goals each year and what we will do to reach them. Okay? How we set the goals and what our plans are to meet them. And if we do those things, then this is going to be you. Stacks and 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 stacks.